Good day, my fellow Americans and good people of the world. Today I'd like to address you just briefly about a very simple concept. The difference between doing something to you and doing something for you. I would just like to bring it to the attention of my fellow Americans and good people of the world. The concept of the current administration's approach to anything and everything they do, for lack of care and for trying to do something that serves the best interest of all parties involved. They don't know how to care about solving issues. They know how to create problems so that they can rig solutions to make it seem like they're doing something. Take, for instance, what they're doing with, the recent executive order that's basically saying, we don't know how to deal with this problem of houselessness, proliferating across America. And we don't know how to deal with the fallout of us basically impoverishing everybody by, cutting the taxes for the, deviant upper echelon of society, which means that and then cutting all of the services for the criterion echelon, basically everybody else, and which is basically doing the whole, utopia thing of first you create criminals and then you punish them, to the fact that now they are going to rig a system that takes away all these essential services that help to keep people in their housing in the most stable situations, and in situations that help them to deal as best they can with the addictions and the mental health issues that come and arise from not having a stable safe home space. And their solution, instead of solving the root core of the problem, which is, a safe home space and the stability of a continuity of a good life, they're building more prisons, and then they're criminalizing people that they are now basically bankrupting and impoverishing because they're not making life more affordable for you to live. And so more people are going to become houseless, and their solution, instead of housing you, is to throw you in jail or to a mental health facility, which, by the way, we don't have enough mental health facilities in the nation, and they don't actually care about helping you to establish good mental health. They just want to imprison you because they don't know how to deal with you, and you're a problem, that they've created by ignoring the actual solutions that are necessary to deal with these critical issues, these life vital issues, to resolve issues for Americans, that we desperately need. Obviously, their solution is they're creating a bigger problem by making you into a criminal, and then they're going to punish you under these terms and conditions of, I don't know what to do with you, I don't know how to help you, but I know how to hurt you. I don't know how to do for you and care for you, but I know how to do stuff to you. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's what they're doing with healthcare. That's what they're doing with education. That's what they're doing with, the already existing criminal justice system. That's what they're doing with immigration. That's what they're doing with everything. And anything else that they can't, directly attack or impact or whatever, because they don't know how to do anything constructively. They don't know how to be destructive. They just put under the blanket generalization of, oh, they're the bad guys, or, an us versus them, mentality, and create these entire national rifts, and it was funny because wasn't Trump the one who said he was going to be a unifying president? He was going to be all about peace, but everything he does is about conflict. Everything he does is about creating rifts. Everything he does is about pitting side against side. Everything that he does is about subjecting people and doing harm to people and basically violating their personhood, saying you don't have rights, you don't have liberties, you don't have the freedom to pursue happiness however you see fit. You have the right to sit down and shut up and do what you're told because I'm the boss and I'm the dictator. I'm the, one to rule them all sort of thing. And to me, it's like, what? I get it. It is much easier to conquer. With enough power, one finger can overturn the world. But to administer, it takes the shoulders of Hercules. You have to have the strength to care enough, a broad enough base to say, I'm willing to put that weight on my shoulders, knowing it's a tremendous challenge. But every challenge can be faced and met in the moment when it's necessary, we can arise to that occasion. We have everything within us to do so. We just have to have the welcoming invite into a situation that we can all thrive on, and one that doesn't keep anybody out of the situation, invites everybody in. And I think that that's fundamentally what is missing from what Trump and the MAGA cohort and the MAGA movement and, the entire deviant echelon, which is basically pinnacled right now in the MAGA movement, is, this sense of creating problems so that you can rig solutions to make it seem like you're doing stuff, basically just creating a distraction instead of actually solving for the things that we need solutions for. I have many brilliant ideas of how to solve for the houselessness issue, because safe home space is the key core to most of what my work has always been around. It's been, coalescing around this concept of having a safe home space for everybody, because in that stability is where you create the sense of well-being and welfaring. Always, like every revolution starts with the home, period. And so it resonates with me deeply that, learning that Trump is undermining all the good work of all of these organizations, and all of these people have done the best that they can with patchwork solutions to prop up a system that fundamentally is rigged out of their favor, but they're doing the best that they can to hold it up, because their ultimate reason for being is to help to support in the welfaring of these people. But when you have a government system that is working against that and against your best interests and cutting your funding and essentially saying you can't do what you do because we're going to deem it's diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that's not allowed, it's tying the hands of the people so they can't do anything. And then while everybody falls more and more into suffering, the only solution that Trump and his administration, or the deviant echelon of society that he's all working towards, is just get rid of the problem, hide the problem, tuck it away in some, place of confinement, out of sight, out of mind, and then what are they going to do when they realize already as it is, we have a high enough concentration of, people that are in, prisons than any other nation in the developing world. And the MAGA is, and Trump in his administration is removing human rights, rejecting human rights, saying that he's picksy-choosy about who gets to have human rights, picksy-choosy about who gets to have civil rights, picksy-choosy about who gets to have the, protections of the rights that have been conformed within our Constitution that says that we're all created equal and we all get equal justice under the law. He's saying his interpretation, his jurisprudence, his, way that he perspectives and perceives and, propositions the world, in his seeming I'm holding up the Constitution, is that he's going to take away everybody's rights, because if he takes away their rights, he has more control over them and he can tell them what to do, what to think, what to feel. That's not America. That's not freedom. That's not liberty. That's not justice. It goes against everything that America stands for, and it's wrong, fundamentally wrong, So I just wanted to bring that into everybody's awareness right now, like really wake up to that notion of the fact that the government under POTUS 47 and his entire regime, because it's not even really an administration. What are they administering to? Nothing. They have a regime of power, control, concentration, and then they have this entire network of people that are, throwing propaganda at you to distract, while they slowly take away all of your rights and replace it with their power to dictate to you who you're going to be. This is a dictatorship that we are being concentrated into. Wake up to the reality of it, people. You know what I'm saying? But, in realizing that, wake up to that and understand this basic, simple concept. The fundamental difference between doing something to you and then doing something for you. With that, I'm grateful for your very, very valuable time, attention, and consideration. I got to get back to work, so I'll talk to you again soon. I appreciate you. Be well.